Welcome back, YouTube. Today I'm working on a Lindbergh custom 1940 Ford Coupe. I got the doors open. I'm going to hinge those, getting rid of the interior floor tub. But today, that's not what we're here to see. Today I'm going to do a review of what's in the box for this kit. This is the 1991 release, the original release of the Ford F-250 pickup. 1/24th scale from Monogram. This is the sister kit to one of my all-time favorites, the F-350 dually. Love this kit. Let's get on to some plastic. But before that, we've got to go through the instructions. Now there's a lot on this little tiny sheet. Doesn't look that big. Until we open her up. Just this side alone is 33 steps. Then we get to flip it over. In total we have, with decals, right around 50 steps. Not bad. Now, like I said, this is the original issue. This isn't something you're going to find in stores. I got this one off of eBay. And here we have our color parts, molded in blue. We have the hood. We have our tailgate in two pieces. Nice crisp detail. Here's our front lower valence panel. This says EFI. Here we have our bed sides. This is an 8-foot bed. The dual fuel tanks, so we have two gas doors. And here we have our underfloor supports for the bed, our bed cross members. Next up on the tree we have our interior. Here's our interior tub. There's no real back seat detail to this kit. You know, it's all kind of suggested in there. Pedals are molded in. Gas, brake, and parking brake. This does have an automatic transmission. Here we have our front seat. Very nice detail. It has some super fine texture. Same with the back of the seat. It has a really fine texture on it. Here we have sun visors. We have our door panels. They're molded separate. Speaker grills. Mat pocket. Power window and lock switches. Door handle. Very nice. Here's our dashboard. Very fine molding on the gauge cluster. You have to be careful not to cover that with paint. Here we have our wheel backs, 4 of them. Our steering column, steering wheel. Let's flip that over. We have exhaust manifolds, oil cooler, and a fan. And here's our molded in one piece, two-piece drive shaft with a carrier bearing. It's pretty good. Here we have our chassis and bed. These beds you have to be careful on, that they may warp. This one's slightly warped. A little bit of warm water or a blow dryer can fix that. But what happens when it warps is the bed sides, the side rails tilt out, and it makes your tailgate not close while you have gaps in it. Here we have our chassis. The dual fuel tanks are molded in. Part of the floor pan's molded in. We have an original copyright date, 1991. Here's our rear end housing, the two pieces. This is a weak point to this kit. This housing likes to break right where the shock or the spring mounts are on it. So what I always do, you see this groove down through here, is I'll put a piece of steel rod in there to help support that. You lose one of these locating pins, but you know, that's okay. Yeah, they break right at this notch for the spring locator because you have the dual wheels putting a lot of leverage out on the outside there. Here we have our firewall. Nice detail. Our brake booster is molded in. Here we have our windshield wiper motor and various wiring and hoses. Here we have our radiator core support, all molded as one. And back here we have oil lines that go to that oil cooler that I showed you before. Beautiful detail. These are my all-time favorite kits, these and the F-350. There's just so much you can do with these. You know, I don't like to build too many custom or straight out of the box. I like to do them custom, work trucks and whatnot. Here we have covers for our roll bar lights. We have power steering pump, distributor, hoses and belts and pulleys, our fan shroud, air intake box, front cover, part of our throttle body, more air intake hose, intake manifold. We have our rear leaf springs. Here we have our cylinder heads and valve covers, starter, our block and transmission halves, tie rods. This does not have posable steering, although the tie rods might suggest that with the holes in them, but it doesn't. Here's our front steering spindles with the twin I-beam and radius arms, throttle body, and our exhaust. Mufflers two-piece, catalytic converters two-piece. It looks great when it's put together. Here's our rear shocks and our front shocks and springs. And that's it for the colored plastic. Now we have the chrome. Usually everybody's favorite. We have our wagon wheels. They're a little bit of a disappointment because they're only 5 lug. You know, you'd expect an F-250 to have 6, but this was a 2-wheel drive, Here we have our roll bar and our light heads. These are our tail lights. We have more parts for the roll bar, the rear bumper step, rear bumper. The chrome's beautiful on these kits. Here we have an exhaust tip. There's two of those, one fell off in the box. Here we have our alternator and air conditioning. Our cab clearance lights, there's 5 of those. Our tow ball right there, right here. Here we have door handles and a rear view mirror. Over here we have the wiper arms. They're very delicate and very fine. They look amazing. Here we have front bumper and grille. Show you the grille right side up with that Ford logo in the center. And here we have our mirrors. Again, very delicate, but they look amazing assembled. And down here, it's very hard to see, but these are the fender badges, F-250. You get 2 of those. Moving on, we have the glass. Now you have to keep in mind with these old kits, nothing is put in a bag. You know, the whole thing gets put in a bag and then put into the box. So we have our back windshield. It's a slider, so you get that detail. We have our side rear quarter windows, our front quarter windows, windshield. Here we have our headlight lenses with some nice etching in them. And here we have our turn signal marker lights for the front. Again, very nice fine etching. They look amazing painted up. And then here we have taillights in red. These are beautiful. A little bit of silver paint behind, and they go right into the chrome surrounds. They look beautiful. And then we get 5 Goodyear radial GTs. I know they're not the best tire for the kit, but they look really good on it. And being an old kit, it still has the writing. And if you have a very steady hand, you can pick out the writing on these in white. And it looks outstanding. But you get 5 of those because it does come with a spare tire carrier for the back underneath. In fact, it fell off the tree, and here it is. And our final piece are the decals. Being an older kit, you don't get the decal for the gauges like the new ones would. I don't know when the last time this kit was reissued. I think it was around 2006 or so. It's a tan and white truck on the box, but it gets the new dash decal. We have various underhood decals for belt routing and emissions and whatnot. And then 2 North Dakota license plates, pick them up. These are still in great shape after all these years. But that's it for this kit. If you like, please leave a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.